which was when Reagan let hundreds of thousands of gay people die by preventing the CDC from doing...
Oh, this was this way. Let me go back. This was the thing.
Did he steal this from Didn't Destiny try to bring this up when he was here?
No.
Okay, this is something
unless
different.
I like walked out and missed this, but
wave of anti-LGBT media attention and legislation, because we have the 1980s, which was when Reagan let hundreds of thousands of gay people die by preventing the CDC from doing any research into AIDS. So that was a
Did Destiny bring that up when I like, walked out of the room or something?
Destiny did bring up something about AIDS back in the 80s and being the Republican Party doing terrible shit.
So I looked up.
Time. It was so long ago. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. I tried to look up this claim that Ronald Reagan blocked CDC from researching AIDS. I found nothing. This doesn't exist. I don't know where this came from at all. It's not a thing that happened.
Wait, are you saying that someone went on the internet and told lies?
Yeah.
That never happens.
Like what happened was Reagan and the CDC didn't take AIDS seriously for years until it started to affect straight people, and until I think famously Reagan was very good friends with Brock Hudson, who died of AIDS, and that kind of alerted him to it. So, but there's a difference between like not taking a problem serious and like intentionally blocking funding to cause gay people to get wiped out or whatever the fuck he's talking about here. So,
yeah,
genocide. The last time this happened was a genocide.
So he's saying this instance that never happened is an example of genocide.
This is so
okay.
This is so bad faith.
He thinks Reagan was like, oh, the gays, I'm gonna intentionally block funding to AIDS research to get them all genocide.
I mean, horrible. That would be horrible. That would totally be crazy.
Yeah, it'd be insane if something like that happened.
It's interesting that like in order to like present a charitable Steelman of Vaush's argument, you would need to change most of the words that he uses, because it just none of the words represent what he actually means.
Yes, or what actually happened.
Yeah.
Even in that moment, we would have been further from progress if the backlash to that was. I'm still unclear on. Okay, actually, this is a great question. That happens. What is the Vaush response to that? Because you kind of got like, oh no, that's not what I said. Whenever I didn't mean to make your voice sound annoying there. Whenever I said, okay, so go kill politicians, and it's like, no, of course not. It's defense. Well, then what in that example, if that's a genocide, what is the response that is more revolutionary?
What are you trying to do? Get my channel banned?
This is so good.
I know.
He's like,
I mean, did he just admit that like his beliefs are TOS? That's pretty.
Of course he did.
Happened, right?
Yeah.
This is so weird.
People are being killed
in a dog whistly way.
When people, that's not a dog whistle. When people are being killed by the hundreds of thousands.
Wait, he said that's not a dog whistle. That's 100% a dog whistle. What the fuck is he talking about?
This whole thing is dog whistle.
Yeah. And wait, he thinks hundreds of thousands of gay people died of AIDS in the 80s.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh my god. Okay.
Do you seriously think it's unethical to use violence to defend yourself? Do you really think that's unethical? Would it have been unethical for the Jews to fight back?
I actually don't think it's unethical. I think it's okay, you bring up that example. Of course, in that situation, we can see how violence not only is the only option, but then also could lead us to where we want to go. I'm asking you, in the example of AIDS in the 80s, is that going to take us forward in the most effective way?
If you commit hard enough,
ethical, even if it's ethical.
If you commit, of course it's ethical, and if you commit hard enough, anything is possible. I'll ask you, do you think, would you have been chiding the Jews for fighting back in, say, 31, even if you knew through some prophetic ability that their attempts at fighting back would have been ineffective? Because it seems like you're only telling me that self-defense is just...
So wait, so did you notice this fucking sneaky turnaround, okay? Because Luke asked him a very specific question.
Right.
He said, under the claim you're making about Reagan preventing CDC from looking into AIDS, causing supposedly hundreds of thousands of gay people dying. What's is your response to that? Yeah. And he didn't fucking answer. He's like, oh, what is your response? You're saying that the Jews can fight against the Nazis?
I know. Yeah. Sneaky turnaround. Now we're talking about the Holocaust again.
Yeah.
It's like the most clearly unambiguous situation in the world. Yeah.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Sure. And know that it will work for sure. It's possible that there's nothing we can do. This might be a pointless conversation. It's possible that the dominoes have already begun to fall. We're not going to stop Republicans from winning, and no amount of violent counteraction is going to prevent them from overriding our democracy. It might be too late. So at this point, I've seen decades of liberal messaging and centrist, oh, bring them over, shit fail. I just think we're past that point.
I mean, I would like to ask Vaush what success is, because I have a feeling he would say, one party system. The Democrats control all branches of government from here until eternity, which is, that's ridiculous. A one party system? That's a huge problem. That's like China. That's like any authoritarian regime. It's all one party system. Yeah, not good.
I think we're at the point now where we have to recognize.
We just need to invent immortality, okay? And then make Bernard Sanders dictator for life, okay?
Bernie Sanders. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he wants, but
I mean,
this is so naive. This is so naive. As soon as you get one party rule, they're just gonna be horrible.
Bernie's a good guy.
From 1981 to 1990, 100,000 people in the U.S., or is it the U.S. or is it the world? I can't tell.
Died of AIDS.
And that's 3 years after Reagan, or 3 or 4 years after Reagan officially came out and said that they were going to
research it. Hilarious.
Fight AIDS, and the CDC was doing this, all this other stuff. So.
3 years later, 100,000 people died.
Well, no, but I mean, obviously the deaths were increasing, every year.
Right. Yeah.
Exponentially. But
as soon as the government got involved, a bunch more people died. Sitch.
You go.
You see what happened there?
There you go.
Everything was fine until the government got involved.
Yeah, exactly.
People started dropping like flies.
Right.
Reagan should have just kept his mouth shut. AIDS would have went away on its own. That's how it works. Trust me, I'm a libertarian. I know these things.
Because early on, it was like 1981. Okay, I found a timeline. 1981, I was believed 200 people died of AIDS. Next year, 900 people. Next year, 2,000. Next year, 4,000.
Right.
Next year, 5,000. So it's increasing, but it's not like,
Yeah, COVID, we lost 100,000 people.
Right. Yeah, 1985, they believed that 5,000 people had died of AIDS. Total.
Wow.
Not that year. So it's not like, I guess the real big, it started to really pick up exponentially, after Reagan and the CDC started talking about it. And I think that's because that's when it started to be more of affecting not just, gay people and people that were doing drugs or something.
No, Sitch, I told you it was government regulation.
I see.
Everything would have been fine if the government just stayed out of it.
It said cumulative AIDS deaths by 1986 were 16,000 people, according to this chart.
16,000?
Yeah, by 1986.
And we lost like 500,000 with COVID. So,
right.
Well, people say the numbers were inflated. Really, it was just like 15 people.
There's never been an actual progressive movement that, like a Bernie-style progressive movement that rose up thus far.
It's too late. In 2024, that's the next election. We don't have time for progressives to win, to take over the Democratic Party and win the House and the Senate and the presidency.
Crazy. Alarmist. Of course, we should be raising all of the red flags, but there's no way in which people being ready for violence, the only thing that's going to do I'm okay with people getting a gun in case something ever happens, of course.
Oh, there you go.
Second Amendment. But, Vaush, you're killing me. You think I'm someone that I'm not. But there's not an outcome that I can see that has been explained in a logical way where we express our ambition to conduct violence if needed, and that helps us win the election or something, or helps us after the election.
He is very right, by the way. There's like a bunch of different studies about types of rhetoric and types of protest and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Like non-violence is basically always the way the method that appeals to people.
Why would you vote for the guy who's talking about getting violent? Why would you want that guy in office?
Well, I mean, that was the thing that got David Shore fired, is that it was during the BLM protests. He was saying, you know, the more violent protests there are, the more likely people will vote against whatever group the violent protesters are advocating for.
Of course, yeah. They're like, oh, these people condone violence. Fuck that. I don't want them in office. You think I want them to have political power over me? What, am I insane?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, why are you blocked by David Shore, Adam?
I have no idea. What happened? Who is that guy?
That's the guy I was talking about.
Tell him to unblock me.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Are you friends with him or?
No, we've never interacted once.
Well, I should unblock him before you ask him.
Oh, did you block him?
Well, I blocked him back. When people block me, I usually just block them back, just for good measure.
Why?
I'm like, block me, I block you. Here, I'll unblock him.
Fuck you. Okay.
Come on, you know how come on.
I know how you work. I know how Adam's elephant goes. Yeah.
Let that motherfucker block me. Okay,
right,
David Shore is officially unblocked.
There you go.
Who is this guy?
He's just some researcher.
Really?
I have no clue why he would have ever blocked you.
Is he, I mean, is he a Nazi? He's got like the...
I think I'm assuming he's Jewish. That's why he has the echo quotes around his name.
I don't see... Okay.
You know,
why is this being framed in electoral terms for you? This is about life and death.
I know, it's funny. This is about life and death. You don't understand. If you don't vote, God. I mean, it technically is about life and death because, you know, if Vaush doesn't make enough money, he's going to end up on the street, and that's not going to be, it's not going to be, it's life or death for him.
I feel like this may be the craziest Vaush has like reached. Can he get to a level crazier than this without getting kicked off YouTube?
No.
I mean, this is already pretty fucking TOS. Like I've never seen anything this bad. I mean, the video is to me kind of boring because he's just saying the same shit over and over again, but the shit he's saying is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen him say something this ridiculous. This is bad shit.
He loses his mind in the Rose wrist thing though. Like he's going crazy. He knows Destiny's in the chat and he's like, "Are you Fed posting me?"
Yeah, but in the Rose wrist conversation, he just kind of tries to backtrack some of this. He doesn't.
Oh, he does? I don't feel like.
Well, he's not saying as incendiary things as he says in this conversation.
Right.
By far.
Did you guys watch the Rose wrist conversation?
I
not
did,
live,
yeah.
But we watched it. You know.
Was Rose bad faith? No. Vaush said that. Yeah, I know Rose. Rose seems like a really chill dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Rose was trying to hold Vaush to all the crazy shit he says in this conversation.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume that Rose would do some stupid shit.
Well, he got mad because Destiny fed Rose a question. So.
Yeah. And Vaush is terrified of Destiny now.
Vaush is like, I see Destiny's in your chat and he's watching the stream. Is he feeding you questions? He became like very upset by this.
Vaush he might have a paranoia problem. He might want to see a therapist about this because it really, I mean, his paranoia about Destiny and his paranoia about Republicans seem very similar to me.
Well, the paranoia about Republicans is unreasonable. The paranoia about Destiny is, pretty spot on.